We all struggle daily with behaviors we want to stop, but somehow keep repeating. Staying up late, snacking, excessive smartphone use, checking social media, gambling, shopping, drinking alcohol, and even compulsive behaviors triggered by anxiety. The targets are diverse. Even though we intellectually understand we should stop, we find ourselves repeating the same actions before we know it. This phenomenon is often dismissed as weak willpower or a personality flaw, but it's actually deeply rooted in brain structure and learning mechanisms. Research in behavioral science and neuroscience has revealed that behind these unstoppable behaviors lies a circuit called the habit loop. The habit loop consists of three elements: cue, routine, and reward. Once formed, it operates automatically. What's crucial is that this loop is intimately connected with the dopaminergic reward system. The reward system is a brain mechanism that evolved to reinforce behaviors, advantageous for survival and reproduction. However, in modern society, food, digital media, and entertainment cleverly stimulate this system, essentially hijacking our behavior. Recent brain imaging studies have confirmed that when engaging in addictive behaviors, the nucleus accumbens and ventral tegmental area at the core of the reward system work actively, releasing dopamine. What's surprising is the fact that dopamine is secreted more strongly at the moment of predicting a reward than at the actual reward itself. In other words, we repeatedly engage in the same behaviors not because of the outcome, but because the anticipation drives our brain. It's said that 40 to 50% of human behavior is performed, not through conscious judgment, but through habits. Habits are behavioral patterns, automated through repetition in the same situations. The habit loop model popularized by Charles Duhigg consists of three components. First is the cue, the trigger that initiates behavior: time of day, location, emotion, or immediately preceding events. Second is the routine, the actual habitual action itself. Third is the reward, the pleasure or relief obtained through the action, activating the brain's reward system and releasing dopamine. When these three elements connect, a habit loop forms. Once the loop is established, the moment a cue is given, the brain automatically prompts action and enters a state seeking reward. Habits are primarily processed in the basal ganglia, particularly the caudate nucleus and putamen, play roles in streamlining and automating repeated behavioral patterns. Meanwhile, new behaviors and complex judgments are handled by the prefrontal cortex, but as habits become established, this region's activity decreases. In other words, habituated behaviors reach a state where they can be done without thinking, making conscious control difficult. Research by neuroscientist Schultz demonstrated that dopamine is secreted more during the moment of predicting rewards than at the rewards themselves. This is called reward prediction error. When results better than predicted are obtained, dopamine is released abundantly, and the brain judges this as a high-value action, increasing the likelihood of future behavior. Thus, the higher the reward uncertainty, the higher the gambling nature, the more solid the habit becomes. Research shows that habits are difficult to simply erase because the circuits of cues and rewards remain in the brain. Therefore, an effective method is replacing unwanted habits with different behaviors. By keeping the cue and reward the same, while only changing the action, new habits form. This method is called habit substitution and is widely applied from addiction treatment to business habit improvement. The reward system originally served to promote behaviors directly connected to survival, like finding food or engaging in reproductive activities. However, in modern times, foods, entertainment, digital media, shopping, and gambling can overstimulate this circuit, causing unstoppable behaviors. Dopamine is often called the pleasure molecule, but it doesn't actually produce pleasure itself. It generates motivation. Research by Berridge and Robinson found that dopamine strongly contributes to wanting, but doesn't necessarily align with liking. In other words, dopamine amplifies the behavioral urge to do more, becoming a major driving force for repetitive behavior. Variable reward situations where outcomes differ each time maximize this effect. Gambling has unpredictable rewards. Social media reactions vary each time, creating high uncertainty, and smartphone games have random rewards and gotcha elements causing dopamine surges. Skinner's behavioral experiments showed that when rewards are given at irregular, rather than constant intervals, animals most persistently continue that behavior. Modern app design and advertising strategies cleverly utilize this psychological mechanism. Normally, the prefrontal cortex applies brakes to the reward system and suppresses impulsive behavior. However, with chronic dopamine stimulation or strong reward learning, this control function declines. As a result, even when wanting to stop, impulses cannot be suppressed and behavior becomes automated. MRI studies have reported cases where addiction patients show reduced gray matter volume in the prefrontal cortex, associated with weakened decision-making and self-control, making it harder to break the vicious cycle of habits. Unwanted habits are often triggered by specific environments or times of day. Research by Lally found that clarifying cues is essential for forming new habits. Therefore, effective techniques include reducing triggers for bad habits from the environment and increasing triggers for desired habits. This environmental design is a powerful strategy for changing behavior without relying on willpower. What's important is that the reward system is fundamentally our ally, supporting survival and growth. The problem is that this system overreacts to modern society's artificial stimuli. In other words, the key to solutions isn't completely suppressing the reward system, but retraining it in healthy directions. By understanding brain mechanisms and making them your ally, you can design your desired future yourself. Your behavior can change starting today. Thank you so much for watching until the end. Please subscribe to our channel and hit the like button if you found this helpful.